Right. I think people are in here now. You're not stuck in the waiting room listening to that awful music anymore, are you? For everybody that's just joining us, we're going to wait a couple more minutes so all the late comers can get here. I'm Nathan, and Lewis is with us. Say hi, Lewis.
Hey everybody, it's Louis Michael Orts. How you doing?
Let's see, we got some people here from Italy. It's not Friday the 13th there. It's Valentine's Day. Happy Valentine's Day, lovers.
Oh, I see some familiar faces or some familiar names in here, should I say?
So, just out of curiosity, me and Lewis were talking earlier um, about the word. It's spelled Niche. I wonder how you guys pronounce it because I know the proper pronunciation is niche, and I absolutely hate that pronunciation. It's really snobby to me and kind of drives me crazy. So I always say niche. I'm just kind of curious to how you guys say that. Niche. Is it niche or is it niche?
Niche.
Niche. Oh, niche there in Maryland. Niche in Italy. Oh, he hates it too, though. So,
Niche.
niche. Seems much like French. I agree.
Man, I'm really excited to be here tonight, man. We went through the slides a little earlier and just looking over it. Um, man, good.
Hey, you're kind of cutting out to me. I wonder if you're kind of cutting out for other people here too. Can you guys hear us clearly? You're fine. He is cutting out. John says no.
How about now? Can you hear me now? Everything sound good?
Yeah, yeah, you sound good on my end.
Good, good.
Great. Yep, John could hear us. Chris could hear us. All right. Perfect. So I'll introduce myself. I'm Nathan. We have Lewis here. Now Lewis is he does a couple different things. He has his own offline business, does pressure washing, but he's also been getting into offline marketing as far as like client-based stuff, web design, SEO, things like that. He's still starting out. He's no guru or anything, which is probably a good thing. But I figured it would be good to have his insight in this because he's done things on his own. He's also been getting calls daily by people trying to offer SEO. Isn't that right, Lewis?
Yeah, it's absolutely right, man. And even before I started learning internet marketing, SEO, web design, and the such, um, I was actively searching for this. And even before actively searching for this, I wasn't really educated in what the power was behind it. And um, you know, I guess I could go on and on and on, but we'll save it for a little bit later. Being an offline business owner, uh, I kind of know what to expect and um, I guess the word is, um, what I want to hear. I know what other business owners want to hear, and I know what I want to hear from from people who are trying to sell this kind of service.
Right, and that's probably given you a little bit of an advantage when you're talking to people about like web design, SEO stuff too, doesn't it? Like being a regular business owner, um, I would assume that would give you kind of an advantage.
Yeah, absolutely. And thinking back to it now, um, it's never really been about SEO. It's never really been about rankings. It's been about and me and you have talked about it a couple of times. It's been about the opportunity that you're being presented to do things with what SEO can do for you, if that makes any sense.
Yeah,
The opportunity
well,
for
at first you were all about, I don't know, you're kind of hooked into the trends with internet marketing and all the hopes and dreams and everything that they say. I remember, when was it? Was it about 2 weeks ago when we talked and you were trying to show me this newest, greatest thing?
yeah, man. No, uh, no comment, right? Uh,
Right.
no,
But
but
the cool thing is though, like even though you don't have a super ton of experience, like people in the SEO industry or companies that have been doing it for years and years and years, you've kind of been winging it, and you've still had results. Like you were telling me, last year, almost all your work came from the search engines. So even for somebody that's still making mistakes and still learning, you are able to get stuff done, basically by winging it, huh?
yeah, absolutely. And if I would have known then what I know now, I mean, especially kind of the things we're going to talk about in just a few minutes, um, you know, my business would have been exponentially better,
Yeah.
and it's been a learning experience, but up till now, I feel like now, knowing what I know now, it would have been so much different. But it's game on 2015.
Yes. Yes. Hindsight's always 2020.
Absolutely. I'm kind of
All right.
curious how many people in the audience are currently doing internet marketing or currently doing SEO or uh, yeah, John winging it. That's absolutely right.
Nice.
David says yes. Okay.
Yeah. Good deal. Little bit, but no big money. Yeah, it takes time. Offline is definitely big money, but it takes time to learn sales, everything, processes, systems. Um, Lewis, are you there?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, it just said that you weren't there for me, but okay, let's go ahead and jump into this a little bit further and just get moving through the screens. Now, if you guys have any questions, we're going to have a questions and answers part at the end. But, if there's something that you feel like we're missing during these slides, don't hesitate to ask something in the chat. Maybe we could um, wing it like Lewis has been doing with SEO and answer those questions. Sound good? All right, so what we're going to talk about today, we're going to talk about on-page optimization, all your title tags, all that good stuff. If you've been watching posts of mine on the Warrior Forum or on the blog, you know how much I value on-page optimization. It's probably the most important thing when it comes to local SEO. We're going to talk about listing optimization, how to you know, get the best visibility for your listing. Citation building, it just some basics here, but there's going to be some gold nuggets that you guys find out, and of course, backlink building. And backlinks are very difficult to really execute if you're a beginner. Even if you're intermediate or even advanced, it's very difficult because um, you, you could do so many things the wrong way. And we'll be able to touch on that a little bit. There's a lot of misconceptions. Um, it's really difficult for a lot of people getting into SEO because you have all these different sources of information that are conflicting. And then people that you trust, you don't know what really works, what's outdated, what worked maybe 5 years ago. So we're going to try and help clear that up for you guys. So let's jump into this. On-page optimization, title tags. One of the most important parts of on-page SEO, it's the browser title tag. Like if you have this window open right now in the webinar, you see the title on the top of your browser. I'm using Firefox. It says Freaky Friday Night Marketing Talk. Um, I'm cutting in and out. Good now. Okay. I don't know what to do about that, John. It might be click muting, it might be my internet connection. I'm not sure. But anyway, title tags. It's on the top of your browser. It's a very important part of on-page optimization. A lot of people go wrong with it. Lewis, I think you went wrong with it too, didn't you? Weren't you like stuffing some keywords into your title tag or something?
Yeah, absolutely, man. And the funny thing is with on-page optimization, it's the difference between first and not first. First and second, first and third, first and fifth, first and tenth, first and the dreaded
Page three.
N/A. So page three is terrible too, man. So I mean, it's absolutely critical. It's critical because Google sees these title tags and says, "What the heck's the page even about?" And some people, I've seen them put their name in title tags. I've seen them put just all kinds of crazy stuff in their title tags. Some people don't even have title tags, and
Just a
so
welcome or home for
yeah,
the home page.
absolutely.
I've seen some SEO companies that actually didn't have an optimized title tag for their home page. It was just welcome to the home page. Um, but yeah, okay, so yeah, it's definitely important. But how do you format them? This is where it gets tricky because Google has changed a lot in how they display search. So 50 to 60 characters are usually displayed without getting cut off. After 60, it seems like there's a big variance. What they usually do is have the search results displayed in a 512 pixel box. Like that's the width that you have. Um, so certain letters are thinner. Um, they're not as wide. So you're going to have different variations of what's going to be displayed in search. The most I've seen lately is 68 characters. So you want to keep that in mind, at least to have what you want your potential visitors, or the people searching for you to find. You want to keep that in mind. Now, it doesn't mean that you can't add more characters to it. You definitely can, even though some people recommend against it. It really doesn't matter. You could still fit in keywords, and Google's still gonna consider those keywords um, as a ranking signal. So, as you can see here, I have an example. Tulsa, OK, as an Oklahoma roofing contractor with a pipeline. Bob's Roofing, shingling expert. So what that is, I have the location first, which I like to do the location first because it's the first thing Google sees. And when it comes to local SEO, it's all about relevance. Everything we're going to be talking about today is all about relevance, whether it's location relevance or keyword relevance. So, location relevance, that's probably the most important when it comes to ranking in the pack. That's why we have the city and state first right there. Lewis, what are you doing right now with your titles? Do you have the city first or is it last?
Yeah, actually, what I try to do is put it first, and then depending on, um, I guess it depends how many keywords, not keywords, how many words are in the actual title tag. You know, for me, it just depends. I don't know. I feel comfortable most of the time putting it in the front though.
Okay, fair enough. So what people often forget with the titles, like they'll have like the first part, like Tulsa, Oklahoma roofing contractor, or pressure washing in Dallas, Texas, or Orlando, Florida, wherever. Um, what they forget about is adding on other keywords, other descriptions to the title that support the main keyword. So you're not really wanting to rank just for each keyword. That's not how SEO works anymore. It's about keyword topics. So you want to have the additional relevance for a variety of topics all within, the keyword that you're trying to rank for. So as you see, like Bob's Roofing, maybe the name of the company, like Bob's Roofing, shingling expert, shingles. That's part of roofing. So, um, and it's kind of optimized for people to click it because you have shingling expert, roofing contractor. They see Tulsa, they see the business name. It's a pretty good title tag. You should probably try and model your title tag to something similar. It doesn't need to be exact, but I recommend testing it out for yourself to see what works the best and what doesn't. But besides the direct benefit of an optimized title tag is the user benefit, user experience, the behavior metrics that Google uses. Um, so you're not optimizing the titles just for SEO, you're optimizing it for the searcher, the person searching whatever terms you're ranking for or wanting to rank for, which brings you to click-through rate. Me and Lewis were talking about it earlier. I I forget what the number one result's supposed to get. He says 37%. I think it was like 42%. But
Hmm.
anyway, if you optimize your title tag and you're getting a good click through rate and you're, let's say, in the number 5 position, and your click through rate is much better than what the average number 5 spot is, you're going to be coming up in the rankings. Um, Now, I don't know how much of an effect it has. I don't know if it's something that should be a huge focus of local SEO right now, but I know it's only going to increase in the future as Google continues to move more and more towards user experience. One can only assume that click through rate is going to be a big deal,
Yeah,
right,
absolutely.
Lewis?
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, what do you guys think? I mean, when you're creating, if you guys create websites for your clientele, what do you guys think about CTR? I'm gonna wait for some of you guys to leave responses, but I mean, what is your opinion?
I've seen I was hanging out on like the number 8, number 7 spot bouncing back between them for this one client that I have, and it just seemed like no matter what I was doing, I couldn't go up. It wouldn't go any higher, and had better citations, better backlinks, better on-page optimization. But you know what? The title tag was definitely made more for the search engines instead of people. So I made a little bit of an adjustment, and the click-through rate, and I was able to tell through Webmaster Tools, the click-through rate started skyrocketing. A huge increase, probably about a 250% increase in click-through rate, and now they're ranking number one. They sometimes bounce to number two, but usually number one.
Right, right. John says that proves it there. I'm sure Google rewards you if you're getting clicks at the bottom of the page. Absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely, and I agree. I agree.
Yeah, and I've seen it on page two, page three, and really all it takes is one click. One click could really move you up to another page, especially if you're ranking, pages back. It could really help. Um, Now there's actually some people running services. It's like some kind of crowd searching where they'll type in your keywords and then go find your site in the search results and click on it. Um, but I don't recommend doing that. I mean, if you think about it, there's too much data that Google has to be able to game the system in that way. I mean, that's a direct property that they own. They see everything. And if you think about like all the data that they have, you have Chrome, you have Android. There's just so much that they have at their disposal. Analytics, webmaster tools. They know what's going on. They know what's up. So.
Absolutely.
Um, So let's move on a little bit. Let's go to URL structure. A lot of people talk about exact match domain names. Like, let's say Lewis wants a domain. It's pressure washing Los Angeles.com. A good way to get around that is including an exact match in the URL. So as we have as an example here, bobsroofing.com/roofing hyphen company hyphen Tulsa hyphen OK. So, so that's how I compete with that, and it works. No, I'm not saying exact match domains don't work anymore. Or they're not beneficial because they definitely are. They still carry weight, just not as much as they used to. And this is a good way to compete with them. I've knocked out tons of exact match domains using this exact strategy, but it's not exactly as straightforward as it sounds. Um, you want to have variance in your on-page optimization. So what you're doing with your title tags, you want to switch it around for your URL structure. You don't even have to have it reversed like I have right here in the notes that the title has the location first, add the location at the end of the URL, and vice versa. It doesn't even have to be like that. Um, you could not include the state abbreviation. You could have like best roofer in Tulsa. Whatever you want to do there, just you want to switch it up. You don't want to be over optimized for a specific keyword. That's where a lot of people mess up, and that's why Yellow Book right now, I guess it's Haibu rebranded. That's where they mess up in a lot of their on-page optimization. So if you see a Yellow Book or Haibu website ranking above you or one of your clients, that's good news because they don't optimize their pages properly, and they'll have exact match everything in the URL and the title, um, stuff like that. So you want to have variance to it. You want to show relevance. It's all about relevance, and it's not just about one keyword. It's about supporting keywords in your overall keyword topic. Think about it as like what are those called? A keyword clouds or tag clouds, Lewis? Are they
Yeah.
yeah, tag clouds. So think about it like that. Like you want a bunch of words together, your keywords, synonyms, things that describe the overall topic that you're going for. You want it all there. Um, and Lewis, I don't know like what kind of supporting keywords you have. I mean, pressure washing is straightforward, but I guess
Yeah.
people swap it out with like power washing too. But I mean,
Right. Well,
variants of
not
both of
just
them.
that. Yeah. Yeah. Not just that, but not just that, but I would say, and I'll give just a really broad example. Um, I specialize with commercial properties, and so to the synonyms for properties are like building, facility, uh, um, building, facility, I've even shown up for like parking structures, uh, even by just typing in the synonym of that word, Google recognizes it as, oh, okay, you're doing. Say I type in pressure washing building or something like that, or building pressure washing, right? Then it'll pick up on the word facility. It'll pick up on maintenance. I mean, it picks. I mean, Google has become so they're
Psychic.
just brilliant. Yeah, psychic. There you go. They're reading the mind of the user, and the more the more you can diversify those words, and
You
the
know,
more likely you are to show up. Yeah.
something for you that you might want to try is listing the equipment that you use, and that goes for other people too. Like, if it's a roofing client, you could name the type of shingles or the manufacturer they use, things like that. If you're um, pressure washer, you could name the equipment used, and Google could associate that with the overall topic of the page, which is going to help. I don't know if you've done that yet or not, but if you haven't, I would recommend at least giving it a shot and see what the results are.
Yeah, I hadn't actually listed the equipment, but I had noted what kind of equipment we've used. But that's a really good idea to put in like models and all kinds of variants of that as well. That's a good idea.
Yeah,
Kind of
and
curious if anyone else is doing that.
if you I don't know if you show, I forget, I checked your site not too long ago, but I forget if you show like a portfolio or gallery of stuff. Do you do that?
Be honest with you, I don't, and I put it because I put it in a way that it shows up just on like the relevant pages. So, maybe I should do that though.
You should think about it, because if you add pictures of work that you've done, you could of course have alt tags and stuff, which I'm not a big fan of, but you could describe the picture of work that you've done in whatever city, state. So you're talking about the work that you do plus the city that you did it. You have a relevant picture right there, so it increases the total relevance of the website.
Right, right. John asks, so you rank for several different pages? Absolutely, John. Absolutely. And it also I mean, it depends on keyword competition. It depends on what's going on. For me, most of the keywords pop up without even any kind of backlinking or any kind of special sauce or anything. All I'm doing is just solid on-page SEO, and voila,
Voila.
voila,
Um,
magic.
why I'm not a fan of alt tags. We'll get into that in maybe the next couple slides. But it's just alt tags. Overall, they just really don't give you much impact. I'm not saying to ever exclude them, but don't try stuffing them with keywords. It just doesn't make sense.
Yep, yep. I agree.
So yeah, with the URL structure, I think we pretty much covered this. Add variants, add other words to it. You want a supporting. Um, you just want to support your keyword topic, whatever it is you do. If it's landscaping, you can have the title as like landscape contractor in Tulsa, Oklahoma. Then you could also have landscaping and hardscaping services, Tulsa, Oklahoma as the URL, or whatever you want to do. Just have different types of content on there that supports your overall keyword topic. Because we're not just talking about organic searches right here. We're talking about local as in showing up in the pack, um, and really you're only going to be linked with your homepage on that aspect of it, but you can also pick up organic results. But with the local rankings, the pack listings, it's all about relevance. 100% about relevance to the location, and to the keyword. Um, so let's go on. We're going to talk about meta descriptions and keywords. Descriptions, keywords like the meta keywords tag in WordPress or Joomla or whatever you use, they don't have any impact on SEO. No direct impact, at least. The keyword tag, I don't even remember when that went out of style. Like that's been toast forever. Lewis, when you first started, did you still see people recommending to fill up the meta keywords tag?
Yeah, you know what? Amateurs did all the time, man. And in fact, when I first started, I was stuffing it, man. And you know, then I realized I said, well, wait, what the heck am I doing, man? I changed that up real quick.
Yeah, I mean, do you still see people recommending that though? Because I've seen stuff on different SEO forums, and I actually had somebody called one of my clients the other day, and tried saying that we weren't doing a good job because the meta keywords tag was blank.
Yeah, yeah. I
So
mean,
I
you're
mean,
gonna get those people all the time.
That's when they called and told me about that, I just kind of laughed because wow, I don't even remember the last time they mattered. It had to be before 2010. And I don't even know. But yeah, the meta keywords, it doesn't make any difference. And meta descriptions, that's what shows up under your title tag in the search results. So you don't want to have all kinds of keyword stuffing going in there because it's not going to make a difference directly whether you're going to rank higher or not. But it could make a difference because it could factor into whether this person's going to click on that result or not. And that's definitely something that matters. As I said before, Google's moving towards more towards the user. It's all about user experience with them. That's how they make their money. So you wanna definitely make sure that your descriptions are written in a way to attract somebody to click on it. Um, think about it like this: what can you do on page one to have somebody click your result instead of somebody else's?
That's a
I mean,
great
there's
question.
there's got to be something, and you have an advantage because if you're not ranking anywhere, you already see the results. You already see the results there, but how can you set it up to where it would be better than what everybody else has? Now, Google's not always going to give people the meta description that you set. Sometimes they'll take excerpts out of your own page that they think is most relevant.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Thomas says you can have a CTA
So,
in description tags. Hey, you're cutting off, Nathan. You're cutting off a little bit, my man.
am I? It kind of sounds like you're cutting off.
Oh, I'm cutting off.
I,
What does the crowd say? I don't know.
I don't know. But yeah, a call to action and description, we both cut off a bit. Sorry about that,
Okay.
John. I guess we both need better internet connections.
I know, man. Comcast,
um,
dude.
yeah, charter here. Okay, so the meta descriptions, who was it that said that? Thomas said that you could have a call to action in your description tags. Yes, you can. And that's actually something that I would recommend doing. Even if you have your phone number in the description, that would certainly result into more calls for you or your client. Um, so it's something worth doing. But you always want to have a description set once you're ranking and try and convert some of those searchers into clicks. You want to keep a high click through rate. Alt tags. I don't like alt tags. I think they're stupid. I don't. I don't like how people jam all the keywords into it. But you should still keep them. You should still make sure that they're filled out. Um, just don't stuff it with a bunch of keywords. Like if you have a picture showing um, a Better Business Bureau accreditation, just make the alt tag Better Business Bureau accreditation A plus. Um, you don't want to make it say roofing contractor or best roofing contractor Tulsa, Oklahoma. Call now, yada yada yada. Free estimate. You don't want to do that. And a lot of people do that. Tons of people
Yeah,
do that. Don't do that.
absolutely, man. John says, I've already gotten so much damn value. Unreal. Thanks, man. Hey, thank you, man. Thank you for showing
Yes.
up.
Thank you, John. So let's move on to this. Image file names. That's actually something kind of important. A lot of people don't do it, and the people that do it, they do it the wrong way. People completely over optimize. So they'll have roofing contractor Tulsa, Oklahoma .jpg. You don't want to do that. Just do Tulsa OK .jpg. It really doesn't matter. Um, it could help with your overall location relevance, topic relevance, but you don't want to overdo it. What do you do for image names, Lewis? I don't know if you're really doing anything with them.
No, not too much, man. Every once in a while, I'll try to make it relevant to the page, but other than that, I don't do all the alt tags. I personally just I figure that it can a certain keyword can only show up so often on a page, man, or even on the website. So I take that into consideration. But Andreas says, what about the meta title? What do you think?
Um, are we talking about the title tag?
Let's find out.
I mean, I think that's something that's confused by a lot of people. They're really the same thing. The browser title tag and meta titles, it's the same. So so there you go.
Yep, yep.
Um, Alrighty. So here we go. Other on-page factors, heading tags, the H1s, H2s, H3s. This is where Lewis horribly screwed up, and this was just what a couple weeks ago when I pointed it out.
Yeah, man. Funny enough, man. After we started talking, I mean, we have been kind of talking here and there, man. But then I was like, well, wait a second. Look at my site for me, and you're like, Lewis, man, you're doing it all wrong, completely wrong. And it's like it was eye opening for me, man. I mean, it changed. To be brief, man, changed my life. Changed my life, man. It
So
really did.
So for some of the people here, what Lewis was doing, he had like three H1 tags and like oh geez, like 27 H2 tags. What wasn't it like 27?
Yeah, to be fair though, it was the theme. So you have to be careful when you use WordPress specifically. I'm not too sure about
Yes.
Joomla, is it? But when you're using themes on WordPress, you have to be really really careful on what your H1, H2, and the rest of your heading tags are. You got to be really 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 careful with that.
Yeah, they'll put it in the styles.css and you could go in and change it. Now, I'm really not against having like styling stuff done with an H3 tag or even an H4 tag. Um, I don't really care because H1 and H2s, those are the most important. But the H1 tags, you don't want that to be used as styling. And there's actually um, a little piece of software that I use. It's a plugin. It's SEO Quake, and it goes into your browser. I use it with Firefox, but I think it's available in Chrome. And there's a section on there called Diagnosis, and you could click that button on it. I don't know if you guys already have it or not. If not, you should check it out. But you could see different tags with it, like the different heading tags, how many H1s there are, how many H2s, H3s, H4s, all that stuff. So, let's see here, John. Sorry for cutting out. So what I was saying is with SEO Quake, there's a little tab on there in the browser. If you use it, at least with Firefox, I don't know about Chrome. It's called Diagnosis. So if you click Diagnosis, it'll show you different on-page elements like the URL, how many characters it is, how many characters the title is, meta description, the headings, how many H1s you have, H2s, etc. It's a pretty cool tool for quick analysis of a theme. If you're trying to pick out a theme for a client or for yourself, or just analyzing their current optimization, it's really useful. It's just at a click of a button. So um, that's what I do. I don't know if you use anything like that, Lewis. Do you? Do you use the Moz keyboard toolbar or?
Yeah, actually, yeah, I've been using Moz a lot lately. It's been pretty awesome.
Well, but yeah, with the H1 tags, I guess we should probably talk about that a little bit more in depth. Um, just like the title tag and the URL, you want to switch it up. You want to switch it up. You want to have your H1 tag, which is probably something that you want to target the most. That's going to be your most important keyword topic. And then the H2s that you use, I would use supporting keywords. So, like it doesn't even need truly a synonym of a keyword, but it could be like, okay, let's use roofing as an example. We would have roofing contractor in Tulsa, Oklahoma, and as an H2 tag, we would have residential roofing company, another H2, because you can use more than one H2. Maybe commercial flat roofing, Tulsa, Oklahoma, something like that. So you want to have something that's going to support our overall keyword theme, keyword topics, show relevance, location relevance, keyword relevance. Um, as far as the H3s go, you could use them. I don't really use them too often. It's really not all that important. Stick with the H1s and H2s. One H1 per page. Don't do three, and don't have 27 H2s like Lewis did. You
No,
don't want to do that.
don't do that.
Another topic is keyword density. So keyword density is the amount of times or the percentage of a keyword appearing on the page. Now it could be one word, it could be a string of three words together, whatever. It's just the overall percentage. Now it used to be 3.5% was like the hot spot. That's where you wanted to be. And back in the wild wild west days of the internet, you could have like 20% with stuffed tags at the bottom of a page, but you can't do that anymore. You don't want to do that anymore.
Yeah, yeah, you
And
could, but you don't want to.
no, 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 you don't. um, Now there a lot of people are still asking about keyword density though, and thinking that it provides a lot more weight than it really does. Um, and Lewis could probably shed some more light on that because he started out recently. So, I mean, did you hear anything about keyword density when you started or while you were learning?
Man, I've probably heard just about everything about keyword density. Because for me, I mean, obviously, besides the header tags, I guess I didn't put too much emphasis on the URLs. It just was like, okay, do it. keyword density though is another thing, and I was so interested in just making that keyword pop up. For example, I remember I was trying to rank for pressure washing, and Jesus, I probably put it like 20 times in a paragraph, and it just did make sense. It just really did make sense to read it, and you know, um, I don't know, man. It was a bad experience to start with. Uh, but
Well, I
with
mean,
time, you know,
it really isn't your fault either because you look at all this information out there, you don't know what to believe, you just try it. You know, you see, okay,
yeah,
this person says this works. Okay, I'm gonna try it. You don't
yep,
know any better. You're just learning. So, it's
absolutely,
all
man.
it's on the internet. It has to be true.
Right, right. It's good to have people to talk to who know what they're talking about, man. And when I came to talk to you, man, I mean, I felt enlightened. Be honest with you, I really did, and it proved it. Not just it wasn't just talk; it really changed the way that my site was ranking, man. And so, I owe a lot of that success of the ranking to you.
I do what I can.
Yeah, thank you, man.
So, no problem. So with keyword density, don't focus on it. Just be natural when you're writing. You are writing for the user. You're not writing for the search engines. I know that's cliche, but it's true. Now, that being said, I do average out to be at about like 1 to 1.5% keyword density just because it's relevance. I'm not doing it intentionally, and when we're doing content for a website, that's just how it ends up being. It's just 100% complete accident, just being natural. So I suggest that you guys do the same. Um, focus on the user. They're the ones that are going to either call or not call. They're going to become a lead or they're going to somebody else to become a lead. It's things like that that really matter. Um, so don't pay attention to keyword density. Don't pay attention to people saying, okay, you got to focus it has to be 3.325%. It doesn't matter. Just forget about it. Block them, slap them around a little bit. Um, Forget about it. Let's
Forget about
see.
it.
Forget about it. Another thing with SEO Quake, you could see keyword density. So if you use that, it's a free download. Firefox, Chrome, you could see keyword density if you really want to make sure that you're not going too crazy. Um, I mean, I would just forget about it all together. But in case you're curious about the keyword density of a page, you could use that. So loading time matters for user experience. You should minify CSS, JavaScript, smush images, increase page speed. It really comes down to just make your site easy to navigate, easy to load. Don't stuff it with like 50 images. This is something that Lewis did. Um, just a couple weeks
Yep.
ago, his site was awful. Um, Told him to get rid of like 75% of it, and I think he did. Did you end up getting rid of it?
I did, man. I did. And ultimately what I ended up doing was this. I had it very on the homepage, and I know someone asked a little while ago about the homepage if that was the only thing ranking or if the inner pages were ranking. And this is what I did. I took off I remember when I initially wrote it, I had like 1,800 words on the homepage. Jesus, I had 1,800 words. And I remember you said, "Lewis, man, cut that out." I mean, seriously. I I brought it down to about 500, 400 or 500 words, relevant content, and something to engage the user to go into my inner pages. And by doing that, I mean not only did I drop the bounce rate on my page after looking at it, but I also increased CTR and I also started to increase the rankings within my pages. So I know people were asking about that, and that's how I did it. Instead of trying to rank everything on the homepage, it really wasn't the goal. The goal was to rank the main stuff, if possible, on the homepage, and then put the rest of it on inner pages, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, and that's really a big key there because a lot of people try and target their most important keywords on the homepage, but that's not what you want to do. That's something that Google's going to link to if you're in the pack. But for individual local rankings, organic search, you want to spread out your keywords to individual pages. Like that's your chance to rank. That's where you could have uh, total page relevance for that keyword or keyword topic, um, because you can control everything. The homepage, you're just having the domain .com or .net, whatever. When you have it on an individual page, you have it. You have the title tag, you have the URL, you have the heading tags, you have all this stuff available for you to optimize. It's not just the homepage with the slider and a bunch of other general stuff about the company. You're able to focus it all on one page, and that's definitely the approach that you should be taking. Um, Lewis messed up with it. He had tons of stuff on there. I mean, it was like, oh, I wish I took a screenshot so I could show everybody. I
It's
know it was
overwhelming.
bad. And it took a long time to load. How long did it take?
Maybe 6 or 7 seconds, and now I got it under two.
Yeah, so that's huge. I mean, I forget the statistics on it, but I think if a page takes longer than 3 seconds, a certain amount of people just don't even go through with it.
I think
I
it's
don't
like
know. I forget the
80%.
statistic, but yeah, I
Yeah.
don't know. I mean, I know 71.5% of statistics are made up on the fly, so who knows?
Yeah. Don't quote me on that. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So, okay, next thing, start linking internally, and include outbound links to high authority relevant sites. A lot of people think that, on your website that you shouldn't link out. But you should. I mean, don't link out to your competitors. That would just be stupid. But link out to something that's relevant. It could be something location specific or industry specific. Things like that. That it actually helps. It shows Google that you're vouching for this site. This site is relevant to the content that you're writing, and if that site is high authority, then it's showing you, or it's showing them that you are effectively promoting good content relevant to the user. So it could be industry specific or location specific. Now, I kind of do things that aren't exactly white hat. So, when I do like duplicate content, landing pages, I do it all the time, and they still rank. Um, and what I do is link out to like a city-specific Wikipedia page or website, and I'll link out to like if there's any kind of certification that they have, the client has, or if they're a part of any kind of trade association, things like that. I'll link out, um, and it seems to help. I mean, the results are there. That's all I could really say. But it is effective, and it's something that you should probably look into doing. I don't know if you do that at all, Lewis, or not. With
Absolutely.
the outbound links, you do?
Yeah, absolutely. I've got
Cool.
links going to like Wikipedia and uh, city relevant sites and whatnot. Absolutely, and it has helped.
Cool. Yeah, and then as far as linking internally, you want to link all your pages. So let's say that we're going to use the residential or the roofing example again. Let's say it's a roofing page on residential roofing. Now, maybe at the end you could write like a little excerpt. Are you not looking for residential services? Check our commercial roofing services here, and link commercial roofing services to the commercial roofing page. You want to do that throughout your site. You want to make sure it's easy to navigate. People are are going through your website, the more interactive they are, the better it's going to be. And I don't know exactly what Google has in their algorithms and what specifically they use. I mean, even their engineers don't know everything, so it would be stupid for me to assume I know it all. But I could only assume that the more engaged the user is, the better the results is going to be. They're using behavioral metrics, click-through rate, bounce rate, which I'm kind of iffy on, but that's another discussion for another time. Um, yeah. But it's yeah. I try to have about 3 links per page, um, like internal linking, and it seems to work well for me. Try it out for yourself, see what the results are. But it's all about the user. Make it easy to navigate through the site. Now, just don't try and stuff keywords into links, um, like your internal links. Try and be natural with it. You don't want to have like roofing contractor, whatever city, linked 15 times in the page to another page. You don't want to do that, right, Lewis?
Right, absolutely.
um, all right, so let's talk about responsive design or mobile compatible. This is something that matters right now because of mobile search results. A lot of local results on a mobile device will not display a desktop site. I don't know if it's rolled out into every single market, but I've seen it more and more recently, in my own searches. I don't know if Lewis, if you've seen them, because you're probably not looking for a ton of search results all the time, but it's definitely something that I've noticed a lot more lately. I'll see like the first 2 pages of results, all mobile sites, and some of the results um, aren't even relevant to the keyword term. It's like they're just placing more importance on it because it's for a mobile user, and I don't know. That's just kind of crazy to me. So you want to make sure that you don't just have a desktop site. Now you could have a mobile compatible site, like a separate mobile redirect script, or responsive design. Responsive design is where it's at. That's what you want. That's what you need. That's the future. The only people that are campaigning for mobile websites, like a separate mobile website, are the people either selling them or the people selling you products to get started selling them. That's really it. Google said last year, I think it was like, heck, it might have been 2013 when they said that responsive design is the standard, and they hope for all responsive sites, but they do say that mobile compatible sites are still doing okay. But we could only assume that in the future, responsive is going to take over. Just based on your screen size. It doesn't matter if it's a small screen laptop, a smartphone, tablet, widescreen. It could be on your TV, your flat screen TV, whatever. It'll adjust based on the size of your screen. So I think that's really the future. You should look into responsive design. Um, if you're not offering responsive design, you should be offering it to clients. If you are a regular business, and you're looking to redesign a website, it should be responsive. There's so many WordPress templates that are responsive. There's so many Joomla templates. There's no reason to not have a responsive website anymore. Lewis, I think yours is actually responsive, isn't it?
Oh yeah, man, and I if I'm not mistaken, recently Google has been talking about uh, uh, an update in their algorithm, and I'm now don't quote me on this. I've just been kind of reading it, but like they say, the internet holds all the truth, right? The
Right.
truth is all over the internet.
Are you
But
talking
but
about the rumor of the mobile algorithm update?
Yeah, exactly, exactly. And but even even if it's not true, it's become ever so increasingly important to have responsive design. And like you said, Google has been going back and saying, well, is this site what I want a potential searcher to see? And by creating something that's ready for a mobile user, that can only help CTRs. It can only help any other on-page factors as far as man, whatever. You guys know
you
what I
need
mean.
you need a cup of tea.
I know I do, man.
So
You know
before
what I
we
meant.
move on to the next topic, Mark asked, do you guys use the Google keyword tool to look for local searches? What about Google Suggest for local? I use Market Samurai, and Market Samurai uses the Google Keyword Planner tool. I just use it because I get to see a bunch of other cool stuff with it. But yeah, you could use the Google Keyword Planner. I don't really use it specifically for seeing what I should be targeting. I already kind of know what I should be targeting, but it sometimes gives me ideas on other topics to use within a page or topics to maybe target. I don't use the volume on there, the search volume, because, well, I think that Google lies to us. Because I've ranked for cities that say that there's no search traffic, and they end up getting about 200 searches a month for whatever keywords, and I find that to be happening a lot. There's a lot of keywords not included in the planner tool, and just because something shows zero searches or doesn't show any kind of data, it doesn't mean that data doesn't exist. That data definitely does exist. They're just not displaying it to you. Probably because the Google Keyword Planner is not a tool for SEO. It is a tool for ads. And Google's goal is to make money. So why would they have keyword data on a city with little searches and little competition in ads to where you could get like a 5 cent cost per click? They're not going to display that data to you. And just because they don't display it doesn't mean that it doesn't exist. It does exist. I've seen it. I've seen it. I've seen it a lot. Um, I have clients in very, very small cities, so we have to target other cities too. In all these small cities combined, there there's no data on it. Google doesn't provide any data because nobody else is targeting them with ads, and that's what Google cares about. They want to make money off of the ads. That's why it's the ad planner. It's a keyword tool for AdWords. It's not a keyword tool for SEO. So you have to, if you're going to use that as a tool for SEO, use it as a tool to generate keyword ideas to support a keyword topic for keyword relevance on the entire site or page. That's the only that's the only thing that you should really be concerned with using it for if you're not doing AdWords. Um, Google suggests, yeah, I mean, use that as well to find keyword topics. It's a good way. It's a good way to show overall relevance. Um, what is going on here? Lewis, are you messing with
No, I accidentally clicked, man.
Uh,
Trying to give
all
everyone a
right.
sneak peek.
Yeah. All right, so let's move on. We're already an hour into this. I'm really sorry, guys. I thank you for staying with us. We're going to try and go through this a little bit faster now. I was actually concerned with the information here not being enough. I thought it was going to be like um, I don't know, like half an hour or 40 minutes, and it's a little bit longer. Oh, John, your girlfriend's waiting at work. You told her you can't pick her up.
Nope, you can't pick her up. He's learning SEO. Can't do it. Can't
Nice,
do it.
nice. I applaud you. Valentine's Day's tomorrow anyway. You can make it up to her with a bunch of chocolates or roses or what's those the Vermont teddy bears. Yeah, she'll be fine. All right, so let's get into listing optimization. Now, we're not going to talk about all the types of listings that you could have. We're just going to focus right here on the Google listing when you sign up for Google My Business. And this is going to be pretty quick. There's not much to it. Now, you want to make sure your profile is 100% filled out. Choose the right category. Don't try and be clever with some other category thinking that you could get additional searches. Don't do that. It's almost always a mistake. uh, Lewis, I don't know what you're doing with your listing. I haven't even seen it. I don't think I ever checked it out. I probably should have looked at that for you.
No,
uh,
funny enough, man, I had put window cleaners and gutter cleaners and pressure washing, and actually by on its own it was showing as I was a gutter cleaning service. And I'm like, well, shit, that's my that's the worst, excuse my French guys, but that's like the worst service that I offer. It's the least profitable, and I'm like, oh well, I got to remove it. This is just not working for me. So after a while, I was like, okay, I'm just gonna stick with one.
yeah, yeah, it's yeah, good. That sucks, man.
It was making me mad, but whatever.
Yeah. Yeah, so with the 100% filled out, you really that's actually really important. And I don't know if yours is 100% or not. Um, but a lot of people they'll just include a couple pictures. Put as many as you can. It could be stock photos. It doesn't matter. Just put as many as you can. Now, if you want to be really creative with it, um, you could change the picture file names and upload them, and just try and put in some local keywords. Don't go crazy, but rename the pictures with like the city and state or um, job on whatever date, city state .jpeg, and put it up there. It does increase a little bit of relevance. I think I don't have any hard proof of it, and I don't think anybody else um, that is in SEO, like any blogs or any of that, have really discussed this much, but it's something that I do and it's been working. So um,
Yep.
test it out for
Just as a
yourself.
just as a quick tip, guys, what I've been doing for my own business and for other clients is I'll put the I'll put my logo on these pictures, and so when they actually get indexed in Google, and say someone's going through images or whatever, my pictures with my logo pop up. And you talk about branding 101. I mean, you don't think people are going to recognize your brand specifically in that city, or if they see it again when they're searching for that service, or I just think that's a little nugget that I picked up along the way, that I've been putting my logo on those images, and I've been doing that as well for other people. And I think
Oh,
it's
wait a minute. Now you're putting this and these are ranking in Google Images.
yeah, absolutely,
So
absolutely.
let me ask you then, um, how many people do you think are really looking for pressure washing in Google Images?
Well, not that they're going to see that in the images, but sometimes in the list, in the on the first page of Google, sometimes they have like a row of images. Well, in that rare occurrence, my images are typically showing there.
Okay, fair enough. Yeah, I guess that does work. I was just thinking like why does it really matter if your image is ranking number one in Google Images if it's
No,
not
no,
showing
no.
up in the search results? Because I can't think of anybody like for example, roofing. Let's say somebody's roof is off their house. I don't see why on earth they would be going through Google Images to find somebody to fix it.
No, 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 no. It just sometimes it shows up for other relevant keywords, and I just thought that'd be I'll take every nugget I can, right? Anything that can give me an edge in my business and in the business of my clients.
Yeah, fair enough. So another thing that you should have when you're in your Google listing, besides the pictures, add video, add everything else. Make sure it's 100%, but the video is definitely important. I don't know if you have video or not, but it's really easy. Anybody with some pictures of jobs or even stock photos can create a video. It could be Animoto, like go to animoto.com. It's $5. Actually, there's a free plan, I think. But for $5 a month, you could create as many videos as you want with like some kind of Creative Commons music and bunch of different stuff. You could knock it all out. You could knock out 100 videos in no time at all.
Yep, absolutely, man.
Um, okay, so the next thing with your listing, your Google My Business listing, you're going to have a description. A lot of people miss this. They don't include much, or they're just putting like call for a free estimate. You want to write something detailed, write as much as you can. Include your keyword services offered, uh, cities that you serve, like whatever your service area is. You could add links to your website, add your phone number in there and an address. It's all stuff that should be in your description. Very few people are actually doing this properly. So if you do that, your listing is already better than probably most of your competitors out there, your clients' competitors. Another thing is, and this holds a lot of weight, it seems, at least in the local pack listings or rankings, reviews. They definitely help. They stick out like a sore thumb. But you typically need about 5 reviews before it really gives you that extra boost. I don't know if you've seen that, Lewis, or not, but really, it seems to be 5 is the magic number. Um, at least it is in the cases that I've
Yeah,
seen.
some I've even seen it be more than five, man. Sometimes I've seen it be uh I don't know, man. Yeah, just I guess it depends on the market, but five, I would say five. I agree. It's got to be five or more.
Yeah, I mean, if you have everybody in the pack that has 20 reviews, of course, 5 isn't going to help much. But I mean, generally speaking, like let's say you're not even showing in the pack, you're not even on the first page, organic, and you have, let's say, 2 or 3 reviews, it doesn't hold as much weight. But if you have 5, that's when you see a big boost, assuming that nobody else has a ton of reviews. So that's just something that you should keep in mind. But you got to be careful with it. You can't be putting up like 10 reviews by yourself all within a couple days. That's not a good idea.
Nope, nope. If you can get them organically, even better. But as long as they're spaced out, there's no rule of thumb on the spacing, obviously. But if you have 20 in 2 days, then there's something up, right?
I actually recommend like it all depends on the competitors too. So if you have like 5 people up there with 50 plus reviews on their Google My Business listing, um, you're not going to be able to do like 50 in a month, not even 50 in 3 months. What you should probably be doing is, I don't know, if there's maybe the top person has 20 reviews and the B spot has 10 and the C, D, and E spot don't have any. I would stick with maybe 2 to 3 reviews a month, and then like slowly increase the velocity. Maybe 2 to 3 reviews a month for the first 3 months, and then 4 reviews for the second month. Stuff like that. If you're doing it artificially, like if you're the one posting reviews, I'm not saying to make things up, But if a client has a list of reviews on his website and his customers say that he could use them however he wants and hires you to do SEO and all this stuff, go ahead and put them up if you're not against violating the terms of service. But uh, I'm not against it. I do it sometimes, and it works well. You just can't go crazy with it, and you need to make sure that you have permission to do it. Um, I think some guy got sued recently because he used a client's or a customer's name and put a fake review somewhere. Even though the customer used them, but he fabricated a review and he got sued for it. So you got to be careful with reviews, I guess legally, and from a Google standpoint. Now, if you have permission to do it, or if your client says you have permission, then that's all on your client. That's not on you. So go ahead and do whatever. Um, but yeah, you just got to be careful with it. You don't want to be stupid. You don't want to be spamming reviews everywhere, and um, you don't want to just use reviews on your Google listing either. You want to spread it out across the internet, different citation sources and stuff like that. How many reviews do you have, Lewis?
I have 20 over the course of 12 months. So what you're saying is spot on, you know?
Cool. So you're actually averaging a little less than two a month.
Yep.
So
Yep. It's working though. It's doing the trick, you know?
yeah, yeah. So John says that he's thinking of friends he could ask at this point. No, I'm not sure if he's talking about reviewing like the business or whatever, but that's what a lot of people do. I have a customer in your neck of the woods, Lewis. Well, one of many, and he had his friends and family put reviews up, but it looks kind of silly because his family has the same last name as him. So you have you have like 6 or 7 reviews of his family members, all with the last name, reviewing the business. So you just got to be smart about that.
That's funny.
Yeah, it really is. I when I saw that, I was just thinking, man, what are you doing? But what can you do? He's excited. He wanted to do it, but I mean, I would think that's got to look bad um, to a potential customer. Like, okay, your family is reviewing your stuff.
That's
uh,
funny.
All right, so let's get to building citations. This is really actually a boring part of local SEO. It's not nearly as important as it used to be. It used to be, I guess, a year and a half ago, 2 years ago, citations were the backlinks of local SEO. Now, not so much. The first two parts of this, like the on-page optimization and the listing itself, are really the most important parts of local SEO. But these last two parts, building citations and backlinking, are really the things that could kind of push you up a little bit more. Citations used to be the only focus, so you have people talking about duplicate citations, inconsistent NAP, which is name, address, phone number, formatting, all kinds of different stuff. They would spam out a ton of citations, but it really doesn't work. So what is a citation? It's just a mention of a business name, address, phone number, and sometimes a link to your website. Hopefully, a link to your website, because that's really one of the better ways to build backlinks in local SEO is through citations. Um, so why are they important? It basically shows Google that you're truly legit. Like anybody could go and Google my business, set up a listing, put their home address on there, and say, "Okay, I'm a business." That it's anybody could do that. But citations show third-party validation. It shows Google that okay, more sources are vouching for you. Your information is listed here, here, and here. Um, and Lewis, I think you spend a lot of time with citations, like a lot of focus, because that's what a lot of people were saying. Is that right?
Yeah, that's absolutely right, man. And after really putting some time in it, I realized that it wasn't the all-in deciding factor.
Yeah.
It's important, but it's not super critical.
Yeah, and definitely keep in mind the nap consistency. You don't want to have a bunch of conflicting results. So, like, let's say you've been through 4 or 5 phone numbers in the past 2 or 3 years. That's not going to be good. That's just going to show Google that you're not really um, I guess a serious business. The phone number is the most important part. Now the address, people go on and on about how you need to have everything exactly the same all across the internet. Well, yeah, you should, but the address isn't nearly as important.
Right.
But the phone number is. Phone number shows stability. Address, I mean, anybody can move on up to a bigger office as they grow. So the address doesn't make as much of a difference, but you should want to keep it consistent across the board.
Exactly. And having different napkins, different naps, so to speak, Google sees that as almost like different entities or different businesses, which is why it's so critical.
Yeah, yeah. Now John says so. Address isn't important. No, I don't mean that. Um, I'm just talking about like citation building. Uh, like, if you move offices, it it doesn't make too much of a negative impact at all. Now, what you're talking about is okay. Your client has a location in, let's say, Huntsville, Alabama, but he's wanting to rank in what's another city in Alabama? Montgomery.
Mobile, Alabama,
All
or
right, Mobile.
Montgomery.
I don't know. We'll just say Mobile, Alabama. Even though I don't think that really makes sense since they're both larger cities in Alabama. But for the sake of explaining this, let's just pretend that's the case. So he wants to rank in another city. It's not going to happen by citations. How it's going to happen is through probably backlinking and really good on-page optimization. You got to show location relevance. The citations itself is all about the listing, like ranking in the pack. It's not going to affect your organic rankings, which you're probably going to be going for organic rankings if you're targeting another city. It's not always the case. For example, I have a few clients that are ranking in many, many cities in the pack, but it's because of low competition. It's because of low population in those cities, and I'm a lot better than their competitors' SEO guys. So um, there's some things that can't be done though. So um, I don't know, Lewis, you're in the Houston area, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
So it would be almost like somebody in Atascocita, Texas, trying to rank in Houston. So if you're going from small town to big city and your location is in a small town, you're not going to rank in the pack in the big city. You could rank organically if you're really good, but you're not going to rank in the pack unless it's a very, very non-competitive industry, which I can't even think of any that would be such low competition, to be honest, that would work. But you can rank for other cities surrounding the smaller city, as long as they don't have huge competition like a major city does. So, for example, like Atascocita, Texas, it's like a suburb of Houston, and there's other suburbs too that it could rank for, like Humble, Texas, Kingwood, Texas. Geez, what are some of the others in that area? I don't know, but you get the
Spring,
point.
Texas.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Spring, Texas is another one. Um, yeah, there's all kinds of them. So you wanna target those smaller cities if you're in a smaller city. Um, Keep in mind, sometimes it's better to rank in multiple smaller cities than it is just in one big city. Um, you could get a lot more traffic that way. It's less competitive, you're more secure, and your client's certainly going to be happier because it's a lot faster. All right, so let's go ahead and move on. So when you're building citation, there's a lot of different sources um, of citation. Sorry, I'm reading the chat at the same time. Hey John, let's address that after this, or else we're going to be in here for like 10 hours. Is that all right? Cool. Okay, so building citations, there's a lot of different sources. There's aggregators. These are data aggregators. Nobody ever talks about these, like Localese, Infogroup, Factual. These are the people that supply like Yelp, Google Maps, um, different directories with their information. These are people that try and scour like phone books for information, business listings, and use it and kind of distribute it to search engines. So if you ever see like a Facebook fan page that's been created, but it's not claimed by the business, and you're wondering how on earth was it created, it's one of these data aggregators that sent the information off to like Foursquare or Yelp or Google, Yahoo, Bing, and that's how they show up. Now, this is actually an area where you have to make sure that your NAP consistency is correct, because if you have wrong information submitted to one of these data aggregators, man, that's going to be a really big job for you to fix. It's really tough. It'll take months to do, and even then, you'll find in like 6 months, all this data was resubmitted, and you're starting from scratch again. So the data aggregators, these are the bigs that actually provide Google and Bing and Yahoo with their initial listing population. Now, I don't know, Lewis, have you even heard of any of this?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. Well, because a lot of people don't. A lot of people don't have any idea that this is happening outside of search engines. So a lot of people just really don't realize that, and there's not much you could do to stop it. When a client hires you to do SEO, and you're looking at the mess of citations that they have, and it happened because of incorrect information through a data aggregator, that's tough. There's nothing that you could really do about it unless, well, I mean, you can't prevent what a client does before they hire you. So it just makes the job a little bit tougher. But what can you do? Next thing is, to submit a client to an aggregator. This might actually help a little bit. I think some of these actually allow you to submit the stuff, or at least create a profile for a business on their website. I think Localese does, maybe Infogroup. I'm not really sure. It's been a while since I checked. And you could submit a profile, and that could fix some of the problems and get you into other directories and other citation sources. Um, it's definitely something that could blow up fast. So you usually want to kind of take it easy with citations. Don't go making 200 in 1 month. But this is a way, if it's done through a data aggregator, it's a legitimate way that you can do that. Next thing is top tier properties like Yelp, Foursquare, YouTube, Twitter. You want to claim these. You want to put your information on there. You want to optimize those listings. So with Yelp, you want to do whatever you can, fully fill out the profile 100% in everything that you do. This helps not just with authority of a citation source, but it also helps with traffic generated on these properties, and it does happen. I mean, look at Yelp. Even though I absolutely hate Yelp, look at the traffic they're getting. There's some businesses that survive just from Yelp. Lewis, I'm not sure if Yelp is really a big player in pressure washing, but I'm sure you've seen a lot of stuff.
Well, be honest with you, just and it really depends on your business model. I've had phone calls from them, but a lot of the times it's not the kind of clientele that I want. But it's just different strokes for different folks. Uh, um, but yeah, I've definitely seen a lot of traffic from that, from places like Yelp.
Yeah. Um, So Foursquare is another one that actually carries a lot of authority. YouTube, Twitter. Now Twitter, let's be honest, most businesses cannot benefit from having a Twitter. I mean, how many roofers are going to be spending their day tweeting and trying to generate business? They're not. They're not. But it doesn't mean that you can't create a Twitter profile with the business information, name, address, phone number format, and have a really good citation. It's something a lot of SEO people aren't doing for their clients in the local space, and it carries a lot of authority, a lot of weight. So even if you're not even going to be on Twitter doing any kind of social media for your client, set it up. It's at least a very good citation source. And the same with YouTube. You could have the YouTube channel, but also different videos. Each video could be a citation source. We were talking about this a little earlier today about YouTube and using it for citations. And you could really not just have backlinks, but also a ton of citations.
Yep,
Uh,
yep. It'll help you give the winning edge.
Yes. So moving on to directories. Now there's a lot of different directories out there. There's all the generic ones, super pages, all that good stuff. But there's industry specific ones and there's local directories. All you have to do is search for it. So if your client is a roofing contractor, search for roofing directories. If it's a air conditioning repair guy, search for HVAC contractor um, directory, stuff like that. Same with location. Like sometimes there's a local directory, and like say it's Dallas directory of Dallas businesses, something like that, and you could find some pretty decent directories. So if you're in a small area, a small town population, you're not gonna really have many of those directories. It probably doesn't even matter anyway. So social media properties, we already talked about YouTube and Twitter, but definitely create a Facebook listing, even if the business is not going to be active on social media, it's still a really good place for a citation. Local blogs, same thing. You could search for um, industry related blogs too. Just search the keyword plus blog, keyword or like location plus blog. You're definitely going to be able to find some somewhere. Press releases is another good source of citations. They're not really good for link building as much anymore, but it is a good source of citations. The local algorithm is different, and if you're really good with press releases, you could syndicate them and it ends up being like hundreds and hundreds of citations. So that carries a little bit of weight. Now they're not as high authority as other ones, but it's something that you could do and really get an edge in a very competitive area. I don't know if you've done any of that, Lewis, have you?
As far as press releases, no, but that's in the near future. I'm kind of curious if anybody else in the audience has done something like that for their clients or for their websites or if anything that's being mentioned here. I mean, is this something new to you guys or is this something like like you learned something, a couple nuggets along the way? I don't know. For me, it was. I mean, there's some things that you're saying here. I'm like, whoa. I'm still looking at some things here. Like, I'm still learning here. And funny enough, we've been talking now for some time, and and there's some things on here that I'm just like, well, wait a second, I'm not even doing that. You know.
Not all of it's really necessary either. Like, if you're in a mid-sized city or even smaller sized city, doing work for a client, it doesn't make sense to go overboard and use like everything being mentioned here. You could sometimes get away with simple on-page optimization and be ranking. So, it's not all necessary, but these are things that could give you a definite edge in competitive market. Another citation source that I don't see anybody getting the right way, even though a lot of people have it, is the Secretary of State websites. This is only for the United States, so if you're outside of the U.S., I'm sorry, but I'm sure there's some sort of public equivalent that you could use. Now, a Secretary of State website, you could go to any state. There's usually a database, like you could search for LLCs or S corps or C corps. Most businesses are not going to be a sole proprietor if you're doing work for them, and they're actually a decent sized company. Now, the bad thing about the Secretary of State websites is since it's done through a database, very rarely do does the information of the business ever get indexed by Google. So you have to go and find that information, copy the URL, and if you want, you could go to Fiverr and blast like 10,000 whatever type of links to the Secretary of State URL with the business information on it, and it carries a ton of weight. It's a .gov um, citation. Even though the competitors will have it, they don't know that you're going to have to probably uh, get it ranked or get it indexed first before it even shows up as a citation. Have you ever heard of that, Lewis?
Yeah, I have, man. I have heard of that before.
Yeah. Now let's see here. Hey, remind me to address Brock when we get to the questions and answers, because I definitely want to touch on that a little bit about the amount of content or amount of words to put on a homepage. So
Yep.
remind me that before I get completely sidetracked. So
You got it.
let's move on to the next things to watch with citation building, NAP consistency. We already talked about that, so we're not going to spend any time with that. Just make sure it's all the same to the best of your ability. Velocity of citations. Now, some of the tactics we talked about, you can't control how many citations are sent out, so you can't really do anything about that. But you can, um, avoid using Fiverr or any kind of outsourcer to mass spam citations. Now review diversity with citations. You want these citations that allow reviews like insider pages, super pages, what else? Manta, Thumbtack. These different citation sources that allow reviews. you want to make sure that you have your reviews not just on the Google listing, but with these different sources. Angie's List. Angie's List is another one. I think one of your competitors have, geez, what do they have? Like 800 or something. Um, or not citations, but reviews. Lewis.
Oh, I'm sorry, man. I I was over here coughing. I muted the mic. I didn't catch the last part.
You have a competitor or something with Angie's List that has like 800 and something reviews, right?
Oh my god, that guy pisses me off with a passion, with a burning passion. Holy moly, he makes me mad because his site is so ugly and it's and oh, but you know what? It's it makes me happy to know that because now I know how much weight those reviews actually have in those different citations, and it made me realize that oh, that guy makes me mad, but
Jeez. uh,
but but yeah, no, yeah, absolutely, that is so critical, and oh, I can't tell you how mad I am.
so
Uh,
I wonder what would happen, like if Angie's List goes down, or
oh,
they're. I mean, haven't they? They've been around for a while, but they haven't had any kind of. Have they had any profit yet? I don't know.
uh,
That's another topic. I'm gonna.
another
Well, see, we
topic.
we both have ADHD here, and it makes it really bad to try and do a webinar and not get sidetracked. So, okay, review diversity with citations. So this guy has all these reviews on Angie's List, which I guess is okay because Angie's List is a source of leads itself. It is lead generation for them, so I guess it makes sense. But for your customers, if you're trying to do any kind of review posting for them, you want to kind of scatter it out. You want to use multiple properties. You don't want to just focus on one, because let's say that guy just focuses on Angie's List and there's no reviews anywhere else, just 800 there, which I'm sure Google finds a little fishy. But if something happened to Angie's List, then all those are gone, and although all that social proof vanishes. So spread it out. Uh, just spread it out. It makes sense. It's good. Now with your citations, some allow you more than just your business information. You could have a description on there. Add variants to your descriptions, just like we were talking about title tags, URLs, and all that stuff. Add a little bit of variance, so none of them are exactly the same. Some people tell you to do exactly the same. Don't do exactly the same, because if you do it exactly the same, Google's going to see it. Okay, this is just another co-occurrence. This isn't unique. Make it unique. You don't want to use the same exact description. Just try and target the same keyword topic, but don't use the same exact description. And of course, fill them out with 100% completion. Um, it kind of goes without saying. It's the same with like your Google listing. Fill it out 100%, and you're all good. I don't know. Do you have anything to add to that, Lewis?
No, man. I mean, you pretty much hit the nail right on the head, man.
Okay, good deal.
Move forward.
Um, all right. So local backlink, backlink building. When it comes to local SEO, backlinks really aren't as important, but since they do factor in more organic signals, it is something that you should consider. But this isn't the days of 10,000 wiki contextual links or profile links or any of that stuff, blog comments. Less is more. Less is more when it comes to local. Focus on high quality properties that allowed followed links like LinkedIn, the company pages, their Google Plus profile, YouTube channel profile, Yelp profiles. There's tons of profiles that you could get that allow followed links, even I think Huffington Post. We talked about that before, and others. So there's a lot of opportunities out there, and these are usually top tier properties. These are properties that matter. They're not going to be some uh, page hidden on like I don't know 56 pages within Google about some stupid topic. These are actually important properties. So um, it's something. Only those are the links that you should probably be building. Uh, the rule that I have is if I build this link, I don't even pay attention to do follow, no follow, none of that. If I build this link, can it get me traffic? Can it get me traffic directly through this link? I'm not even thinking about the search engines at that point. I'm just thinking about, is this link on a property that could get me traffic? And if the answer is yes, it's probably a good source of a backlink. Um, Now, with when you're building links, sometimes you're able to have anchor text like a LinkedIn company page. You could actually have a link with anchor text. So when you have those options, you want to switch up your anchor text, of course. Some people will have like some sort of strategy with 20% main brand keywords, 10% of your keyword topics, the rest with just the direct link. You don't need to think about it that much. You just have to have common sense. Like, don't just spam the same exact phrase. Switch it up, show relevance. All you have to do is think about location relevance and keyword relevance. You do that and you use supporting words for the whole keyword topic, you're going to be just fine. You don't need to have X amount of percent of this phrase with X amount of percent with another phrase. Don't pay attention to any of that. It's not necessary. It's way overboard and it's just nonsense. You don't need to worry about that. It's a waste of time. So, um, just be smart about it. You guys have been watching this, so you already know uh, how to switch up the the keywords. If you watched earlier, the title tags, URLs, all that stuff. Same thing applies here. Now, there's other opportunities. Some local newspapers have online websites, and they have blogs, and they have comments to the articles on the website. These are excellent opportunities for links if they allow links. All you have to do is search the city of your client and news and look for the results. Some will be even press releases on some random site that doesn't make any difference to anybody. But if it allows a comment and you could put a link in there, um, whether it's do follow or no follow, it doesn't matter. It's a press release with that city being mentioned or something related to the industry, it's going to show Google that whatever other link that you have in there is relevant to the location. So that's something that you should look into for backlinking opportunities. Just a little bit of extra to do there to give you an edge. Now, what do you do, Lewis? Do you even do any backlinking?
I do, man, and I do it so I do it so I keep a diverse setup on anchor text, and by doing so, I feel like I'm not over optimizing for any particular keyword, and
Yeah,
by just diversifying everything and keeping it relevant, I mean it's been helping a lot.
cool, cool. All right, so let's move on here. Now, with when you're building backlinks, I'm sure some of you have seen banners on forums and other sites like buy PR 6, 7, 8 links for $7 a month or something. Don't do it. It doesn't make sense to do it. PR hasn't been updated since December what 6th. 2013, at least to what we could see. So don't buy high PR links. We don't know what the PR is. There's no way for us to know because it's not public anymore. And even when it was public, it was still like 6 months um, outdated when it was first updated to us. So PR is still used internally with Google, but it's something you don't need to worry about with local SEO. No follow, do follow. I'm sure you guys have heard that. So no follow is a tag that you use with the link, and it stops page rank from being sent to the page being linked. Um, do follow is just the absence of a no follow tag and allows PR to be sent. None of this really matters with local SEO. You're not trying to sculpt page rank. You're not trying to do any of that stuff. What you're wanting to do is just build relevance. Like we said in the beginning, this is all about relevance, local relevance and industry relevance or keyword topic relevance. That's it. Don't worry about no follow and do follow. We're not trying to build uh, high PR pages. That's not the purpose. It's all about relevance, and it's a different thing. Um, so mass backlink building. I'm sure you guys could look at Fiverr when we get off of here, and you'll see 25,000 links, 50,000 links, all that stuff. You probably don't want to do that, but you can if you're doing some kind of tiered backlinking process. So, like you have your tier one pages, like your Google Plus profile, your YouTube channel, your LinkedIn company page, and then you could blast all those crappy links to those properties, um, pretty much protecting your main website. Because whatever value is passed through will be passed on to your website, while these high value, high trust, high authority properties are not going to be penalized. Google's not going to penalize Google. Google's not going to penalize LinkedIn. It's just not going to happen. So you could do things that aren't quite white hat. Will be different shades of gray, 50 different shades of gray. How about that? So you could do you could do a lot of different things with it. And you could use it for videos too. So if you're using Animoto videos for clients, you could use backlink building with those too. Um, it still works. How long will it work? I don't know, but it's been working for years now. Let's see here. Okay, so now that we're done with the whole main part of this SEO webinar, we have some quick tips, and hopefully Lewis will share with us some of the calls that he gets and what he really wants to hear. We only have like in 7 minutes. It's going to be coming up on 2 hours, and I'm not sure if the webinar will just shut off or not. So if it does, I'm really sorry about that. I don't know. I didn't expect it to nearly go this far. But before I hand it over to Lewis, I want to tell you like what I do. I don't sell rankings. I don't tell people how much they're going to profit. I don't tell them how much traffic they're going to get. I don't tell them how much return on investment they're going to get. I tell them that I'm going to be giving them an opportunity. The opportunity is theirs. It's all on them whether they close the deal, whether their profit margin is good enough, and whether they're getting a return on investment because of their overhead. All I could do is give them the opportunity. An opportunity is huge. It's huge because it gets them going, it gets them thinking. It's really why they started their business in the first. They didn't start their business for, traffic or profit or return on investment. They didn't know about that stuff. They started their business because of an opportunity, and that opportunity is either to make their lives better. Who knows what it is. You have to do some digging to find that out. But I'm telling you, it's not ROI, it's not traffic, it's not rankings. It is opportunity that matters. Um, so what about you, Lewis? So why don't you share some of your information and insights as a business owner when you get calls like this? You know, why don't you just share with us?
Yeah, man. Let me explain something for the audience out there. Now, give me a three if you've ever cold called somebody and you got hung up in your face. I mean, if you try to sell them SEO, you try to sell them web design, or you try to sell them, yeah, yeah, exactly. You try to sell them something and they said, you know what, fuck off. And excuse my language, but that's just how I talk, man. And if you don't like it, I mean, you can leave. But, but essentially essentially what happens is this: as a business owner and as somebody who is taking risk every day in my life, excuse me, and as somebody who is trying to get out there and turn a dollar into 10. Nobody really cares about Google in the rankings. Nobody really cares about how many PR links you can send, or what the DA of this is, or what the PA of that is. And nobody cares. I mean, I don't care. And before I started learning internet marketing, I learned that very quickly. I mean, and I'm sure some of you guys can attest to this in your own business. If you do internet marketing, or if you do web design, or if you're trying to get into web design, give me a quick five if you've actually had a cold call like this before, and you do it. Give me a five real quick if this is what you've experienced before. Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Of course you're getting these kind of phone calls. And you know what? It really, if you listen to what they say, 99% of the times they're not selling you the opportunity to make more money. They're not selling you on the opportunity to have more time for their family. Now you got to think about it in the perspective of a business owner. When I first started, I was doing 70, 80 hours a week. I mean, you know, I'm sure that you guys as well have been doing probably that many hours as well, if you're really passionate about your business and passionate about your craft. But as a guy who works 80 hours a week, I want to have time for my family. I want to have time for my friends. I want to have time. If I was married, I'd want to have time to fuck my wife. I mean, give me a three if you can relate to that. Give me another three if you can relate to that. If man, you just want to have time for your family, you want to have time for your friends, you want to have time for whatever it is you do. If you want to have more money, this is the kind of thing that really invigorates a business owner to even buy. And so when you sell SEO, you don't always have to use the word SEO. Like, hey, let me make you more money, motherfucker. Like, no, and so no, that's just what I'm saying. Excuse all the language I'm saying, but the bottom line is this: when you try to sell to clients, and when you're trying to take the time to help them out, it goes way past SEO. It goes way past web design. Like, if you read on the bottom here, uh, the triggers that really increase conversion. Um, does that person want to make more money in their business? Are they scared to lose their business or lose their employees? Are you going to give them hope for more business? Are you going to give them hope to fulfill a dream of theirs? Um, these are just the things that you have to consider when you're talking to other people. And me and Nathan will have to talk. I think we'll have to have a webinar just on sales.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I don't really consider myself a salesperson. I've been selling stuff a while, but selling these services for a long time. But I don't consider myself a salesman in the general term. I mean, I think a lot of them try and make it more complex than it really is. The more you can simplify, the better.
Absolutely, absolutely. And I know probably that there's a lot of people that just they may not understand that, and so I think it'd be good to take a little time to talk about that. What do you think, Nathan?
Yeah, we should definitely do a webinar specific to sales.
Guys, what do
Um,
you guys think? Why don't y'all put a 7 if that's something you'd like to see in the next webinar?
how many sevens can we get? There we go.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, the next
Absolutely.
one I was actually planning on like lead nurturing. Um, hmm. So maybe
Hmm.
we should do that in the next one. Sales.
Absolutely. Without sales, you die.
That's true. That is
Cash
true.
is king, baby. Cash is king.
All right. All right, so let's since that's just a little quick section and in 20 seconds we're going to know if this webinar is going to cut off or not. Um, let's just go to the questions and answers area and we're going to find out if this cuts off or not. If it does, email me at nathan@incomebully.com and we'll start up another one to finish this.
Looks like
And
we're good.
we're here. We're here. All right. All right. So how about your questions? What was the thing I told you to remind me about earlier?
Let me see real quick, real quick.
See, we have we both have ADD, so
I know.
Brock. Yeah, that doesn't really it's not very good for us. Let's see here. Oh, the idea of limiting content on a homepage. He says
Oh
that it's
yeah.
new to him. Well, you know, a homepage is not. What are you doing? Stop doing that. A homepage is not really supposed to be filled with a ton and ton of content. It's supposed to load fast. Think of it as like a doorway to where people could choose for themselves what's most relevant to them. So they could go to the page that they want to go to. They don't want to go through 2,000 words trying to figure out which part of these words answer my question. Which one of these are going to help me with my problem? You want to have, you don't want your homepage to be uh, very long. Um, you really don't. And I had a website a long time ago, and it was really not very it didn't have much content on it at all. But the rankings were awesome. The rankings were awesome because the pages I linked to, the blog that I had, um, those posts were long, and that helped. Yes, it did help. But a homepage is not something that you want to have a ton of content on. Not in my opinion, at least. And from my own testing, it doesn't help. It doesn't help having 2,000 words, 2,500, 3,000 words. Um, the shorter, I mean, you want some stuff on there. Right? You just want it to be useful to the user, the visitor. But chances are you're going to have a page that's more relevant to them. Why not let them choose for themselves uh, what they want to see instead of going through 2,500 words?
Yep. Yep.
So, I mean, look at your results. I mean, well, how many words did you have again?
I think it's like 500 or so, and I mean, I went from not even being on the first page, I think, to shooting up to like number 5 or 6, and before I redesigned it, it wasn't even on the first page.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, you had a lot of content on there, a lot of images, a lot of words. It was a
It was
lot.
a mess.
I mean, how many words do you think that you had? I would have to guess at least. I don't know. I would think 3,500 words you had.
No, I think it was closer to like 2,000, but it was very image heavy. Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's see. Okay, David asked, how do I get a citation or many from my Secretary of State site? I'm in New Jersey.
Um. Hmm. I guess it ultimately depends on how the Secretary of State database search works. I'll see if I can look it up real quick. Uh,
Yep. While you look that up, let me answer Thomas's question. He says, "Why does one competitor with very light content always rank on the first page of Google? I'm adding a ton of new content and making corrections based on your advice today." Well, Thomas, I mean, there's so many different factors, but uh, I'll tell you this: in my business right now, there's this guy ranking number one, and we were talking about this a little while ago, and he has 800 Angie's List reviews. And as much as it pisses me off, his content really sucks. The website's poorly designed, but it's fast and it has a lot of authority coming from that one site. So it's weighted very heavily, and uh, uh, for now he's ranking above me, but I would say it's not too long before I take him out. If that answers your question, there's just too many factors.
Yeah, and yeah, there really is. But I also want to add on to it. Um, just because they have light content doesn't mean that their site isn't relevant. Maybe um, having too much content and the content not being relevant enough could affect things. Light content. So much of this in local SEO is based on relevance, location relevance, and keyword topic relevance. So what I would say, look at your content and see how it complements each other. Are you using keywords that stay within a theme or like a topic group, or are they all unique and your your overall relevance is kind of scattered across the board? I would look at that. It's really hard to say unless we actually dive in and look at it um, pretty closely. So yeah, Lewis is right. There's so many different factors available. You know, there could be literally 50 different things that could be causing that. Let's see here, David. Um, you asked about how do you get a citation from the Secretary of State site in New Jersey. It looks like New Jersey, they have a portal. It's njportal.com. And I found the business records. It's like a /DOR /business records. And you could see business entities, status reports, documents, entity lists, things like that. Now, I just did a little search under business entity name search, and I'm just searching. Let's see here. I'll just search roofing because I'm sure there's a business that has roofing in the name, and sure enough, there is. Unfortunately, the Secretary of State site in New Jersey doesn't display full citations, but you could still use this to your advantage. For example, um, let's see here. There's Roofing Designers LLC in New Jersey, and I guess they're in Elizabeth, New Jersey. They're an LLC. They filed in 2013, um, and um, you could probably copy the URL and get Google to index it. I think that would probably help. Now some of them, it looks like this one's probably a little bit more complicated than others, but you could you usually could have a link directly to your entity information on a Secretary of State website, as long as you have an LLC or some kind of incorporation status, and you could copy that link. Now, some of the databases are formatted differently, so it makes it a little bit more difficult. But uh, just look into it and see what you could do. It definitely helps as long as the Secretary of State cooperates. So let's see. What do we have next, Lewis?
Andrea asks, my question is, Are there any differences between ranking locally or nationally? I mean, maybe a post about it would be awesome if there are many differences. I know that this may be a little off topic, but you can be short about it.
Yeah, there are a lot of differences. I mean, I know you're in Italy, so um, I just know firsthand, like based in the United States, since we're a rather large country, how things that are relevant in one part of the country aren't relevant in another. So when it comes to local SEO, we're focusing on the pack results, the A, B, C, D, E, all that stuff. That's what we want with local. Now, when it's national SEO, you're doing more organic things. You're going to be doing probably more backlinking, but you should still focus on like a tiered backlinking strategy. Citations could still be relevant though, even with national SEO. So keep that in mind. You're just not going to list. You're not going to rank in the pack when you're targeting a national keyword. Let's see here. Mark, what do you guys think about lead generation sites for local models or local model? It really depends. I'm not a fan of it. I know some people really like it. It's just not my cup of tea, and I'm a great tea fan here, but it's just not my thing. As far as setting up different sites and selling the leads individually, I don't like that. I don't like it at all. It takes too much work. Now, if you're talking about a lead generation model um, in the form of a rent a site type model, then I think that's a good strategy. It's something that you could do, and I'm okay with it. I actually have a couple rent a sites, but it's not my main business model, and I don't think I'd want it to be. But it's definitely something that you could do even part time, and probably generate pretty good results. So let's see, what do we have next? Let's see here. David, that link was you got that link. So njportal.com/dor/business records. Um, and Josh, another person asked about lead gen sites for local and your thoughts on that. Also curious to your preferences on that subject as well. I didn't read that before I read that. Um, so it's the same topic. That's really my thoughts are what I just said. Um, I think that if you're going to do any kind of lead generation model, it should be towards a rent-a-site type thing. And just to kind of expand on that, a rent-a-site is, let's say we have um, Los Angeles Defense Attorney.com, and that is a site we control, and we rank it. It's ranked number one, generating 100 leads a month. We could rent that out. We could find another company in this niche or niche, depending on how you want to say it, that will buy it. Not buy it, but rent it for a monthly amount, 500 a month, 600 a month, 1,000 a month, whatever you want to do, whatever they'll pay. That's what you could do, and that's a model that I think would work for people that aren't full blown agency type stuff, people that have another job and want to get started on it and start something on the side. I think that makes sense. But as a full blown model, I don't do it. So I don't know. I'm just giving my thoughts on it. I don't think it's the greatest, but it could be great for you.
You're talking about lead gen?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Like you were saying, I'm not a big believer in it. From what I've seen, I mean, I've seen some people be really successful with it. I mean, you think about it, the big sites like Home Advisor and Angie's List, and but the odds of you being successful in that is a lot less than being successful in client SEO,
Yeah, yeah,
my
I
opinion.
agree. And it's definitely something that takes more time to start, but whatever you want to do.
A lot more capital as well.
What's that?
A lot more capital as well.
Yeah, the investment's definitely in on the front end of things. So maybe that's why I don't like it.
Right.
All right, so Thomas, can you rank in Google 3 or 7 pack for a city that you serve but do not have a physical location or office in that city? Yes. Yes, you can.
Yep.
I have a couple sites that are ranking in the pack for over 20 cities. One is over, I guess, 35 different cities, spreading out into a 60-mile radius and in 2 states. Granted, this is a service, it's a service contractor um, that isn't exactly in a highly competitive field. So yes, it is possible, but most of the cities are also like smaller cities. They're not very competitive. So if you're like on the outskirts of a major city and you're trying to rank in that major city, you're probably not going to do it. It is possible, um, but it's probably not going to happen.
Hmm.
Um,
It, if I could add something, it's like Nathan says, it's very improbable. However, for most, or please let me rephrase myself, for some low competition keywords, it can happen. And for example, it's happening in my business. I target Houston pressure washing, and I'd not only pop up in Houston, but I also pop up in Pearland, which if you guys want to look that up, feel free to. Don't bounce off my site for the love of God, and don't spam it. I will haunt you slash hunt you slash uh, 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 I don't know. Don't do it.
Yeah, and but that is a unique situation there because um, he's in Houston, but the cities he's in the pack for is not Houston. It's a smaller city. So it's okay if you're in a big city and you're trying to rank in smaller cities. But if you're in a smaller city trying to rank in a big city, it's not very likely. It's possible. I've seen it happen. I've done it, but it's not likely. It's not something that you can consistently do in the 3 to 7 pack. So
Yep. Cool, man.
yeah.
Man, this
So
webinar this
do
this
we?
webinar went a lot longer than expected.
Yeah, I never expected 2 hours and 17 minutes. Do we have anyone else here that has a question?
We were like, man, this might not drag out long enough. We might not have enough content.
So I think we figured things out though for the next webinar. We definitely can't have that much stuff on there
Nope.
because I'm just thinking about this and putting it on YouTube and gonna have to cut it up in like multiple parts. Um, like maybe we could charge $1,000 for a replay video and maybe one of those gurus will be an affiliate for it. Um, so I guess that's it for questions. Now, um, do you have anything to add, Lewis? Or
No, man. I am really excited for the next one, though. Oh man, I'm super excited for the next one. It'll be a little more concise and value packed.
yeah, I was hoping for that to be in this one, but it's it's been value packed, but very long. Um, let's see here. So I guess that's it for questions. And you know what? We're going to be back here Friday night next week on the 20th. Um, uh-oh. John says, wait, one more question. But yeah, we are going to be back here next week. It's going to be a Friday night thing. Um, I was thinking that the topic would be lead nurturing, but some of you have us convinced maybe we should talk about sales. Um, I don't know. I don't know what we should do. What do you think, Lewis? I have Matt Lee, the guy that created Clicks Magazine, who wants to join us and in commentary and share his insights too for the lead nurturing. But
Absolutely, man. I'd love to hear what he has to say. I mean, that'd be awesome.
yeah, so I guess maybe we'll do that next Friday, or we'll do the sales thing next Friday. I don't know yet. We'll just have to decide that. And either way, we're going to get to those topics in other webinars, and we're going to do this every night, or not every night, but every Friday night at least. But anyway, John's question: can you recommend? Uh-oh, it disappeared on me. Can you recommend a WordPress theme that's perfect for SEO? Because the theme I use don't have proper H1, H2 structure set up. Um, I really like my theme shot. I've been an affiliate for it just since I started my blog, and and to be honest with you, I'm not a WordPress fan. I don't really care for WordPress much at all. I've always built client sites in Joomla, my own sites in Joomla, and very occasionally something with WordPress. But I really don't like it, and the templates available, I don't really, I'm not very familiar. But my theme shop is it seems to have really high quality themes, and some of them do have the wrong heading structure, and if you don't even feel like diving in through the code, or you don't know anything like that, their support is really good. So you could contact them and say, hey, I don't want this to show up as an H1 tag or an H2 tag. How can I do this? They'll copy and paste you the code that you need to do, and all you have to do is copy and paste it into your styles.css file in WordPress, and that's usually it. Their support's pretty good. Their themes are really good. I mean, as far as page speed goes, um, I don't even remember how the Income Bully blog is, but I think it's pretty good um, in speed. And I think most of their themes are pretty solid. So I guess I would recommend going with one of theirs because that's the only one I have a lot of experience dealing with, I guess. So um, that would be my recommendation.
Uh, yeah, well, as far as themes, uh, I personally like um, depends. It depends on the style. That's man, you may have to inbox me for that. We can talk then about it.
You know what? I've seen your style, Lewis.
You don't like my style.
uh, I don't know. It was so good with those crazy letters and graphics and the 35,000 words that you had on
Hey
your
man,
homepage.
it's better now, I swear. But yeah,
Yeah.
that should be it for tonight, man.
Yeah, I think so. So next Friday night, we are going to have another webinar, whether it's on lead nurturing or getting sales for local SEO. I don't know. I kind of want to go with lead nurturing because it's not just about SEO. It's about other services too. It's about web design. It's about reputation management. It's about how can you um, close a lead that you talked to 5 months ago for your remodeling company. It's cross appeal. It's not just for consultants. It's for business owners in any industry. And lead nurturing is really um, almost as important as prospecting and sales strategies because in a sense it's part of it, but it's what allows you to convert more of those leads into customers. So you know what, I think that is it for tonight. What do you think, Lewis?
Yeah, tonight's it, man. That's it. I want to know what the people think, man. I think you should send out an email and see what they want to hear for next week. That way, they decide, man. Lead nurturing sounds great, actually, though. I like it. I mean, from what I read, uh, in the WSO, uh, yeah, it was wonderful.
Yeah, and I also have a blog post on lead nurturing as well. You can see it at incomebully.com. Um, but yeah, I think that's it, guys. I appreciate you guys hanging out with us on Friday the 13th. And for those of you in Italy, I really appreciate you guys staying up. It's geez, what is it over there? It's almost 5 a.m., 5:30 in the morning in Italy. So a big shout out to you guys. Um, really appreciate you. So uh, we want you to come back next week. If it is on lead nurturing, then Matt Lee will be with us. If it's just on sales, I don't know. We'll put something together and make it valuable for you. And I promise this uh, will probably be the last webinar that lasts 2.5 hours. Definitely didn't mean for it to go on this long. So I guess that's it. Thank you guys. Lewis, you could say bye if you want.
Yep.
Or did you
Everyone
go
have a
to
good
sleep?
night.
All right. See you guys.